sure to wash your hands regularly and stay hydrated. While there have been no reported cases of the human metapneumovirus, HMPV, on the island, we are in the midst of the flu season. According to our health professionals, respiratory illness cases are currently below the epidemic threshold, but it's still crucial to take precautions. If you're coughing, please wear a mask to help prevent the spread of the virus. Now that we've filled that prescription, welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Audrey Williams. Today we continue our celebration of last year's achievements, and this time we'll be taking a look at the accomplishments within the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. So, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, January 17, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says he is pleased to see the level of investment by the private sector to drive sustainable production. Dr. Holness was speaking at the official opening of Caribbean Broilers' $15 billion state-of-the-art facility called The Nest on Wednesday. He says with productivity being part of the government's economic growth agenda, this structured facilitation creates an efficient system that empowers workers to be productive.
Productivity now has to be the next chapter of our development. We have solved the fiscal issues. We have made massive increases in wages. We don't want those increases in wages to be wiped out without having a consummate increase in productivity, which is going to protect the value of the wage increases that have been given, either through the public sector or with the increases in the minimum wage.
Meanwhile, Agriculture Minister Floyd Green has welcomed CB Group's opening of its new air-chilled processing plant, which he says is in alignment with government's food security efforts. The new plant, which uses air-chilling technology to cool chickens after slaughter, is expected to increase chicken production by over 30 million kilograms.
What that means in real terms is that we can treat with our own food security and then look at treating with food security for the region. We can seriously replace all extra-regional chicken meat exports, and that has to be our vision by 2035.
The air-chilled processing plant is located within CB's 1,000-acre eco-industrial park in Hillrun, St. Catherine. CB Group's Chief Executive Officer, Matthew Lynn, says the vision for the eco-industrial plant is to impact the country in a specific way and to inspire the next generation of workers.
To do better, to live better, and to be better. A destination that school children could visit and see firsthand that there are other options than being a doctor or a lawyer. And hello to the doctors and lawyers who are here, no disrespect. But how about a plant operator, a controller, an engineer, an architect, a farmer, a place where consumers, even tourists, could see where their food came from, and a location that attracted international buyers and investors to show that Jamaica was serious about agriculture and serious about doing business.
Coffee farmers are set to benefit from the distribution of an additional 8,000 coffee seedlings this January. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, says this is part of the ongoing coffee restoration and expansion program and follows the successful distribution of 12,000 seedlings earlier under the initiative. The goal is to help coffee farmers expand their cultivation areas and increase production.
The other thing that we're doing under our coffee restoration and expansion program is also distribute other crops, short-term cash crops, so that it can help our coffee farmers secure an income while they await these new coffee seedlings to come to fruition.
Minister Green was speaking at the recent launch of the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival 2025 at Devon House in Kingston. He also announced that the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority, JACRA, would soon introduce a fair coffee price recommendation for the market.
No coffee farmer, no Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. We have to ensure that our coffee farmers are always getting a fair price for their coffee.
The All Jamaica Consumer Price Index, CPI, for December 2024 was 143.5, representing an increase of 1.2%. The CPI measures changes in the general level of prices for consumer goods and services purchased by private households. According to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin, December's rate was primarily due to a 1.9% increase in the index for food and non-alcoholic beverages. A big contributor was increases in the price of vegetables, tubers, plantains, cooking bananas, and pulses, with items such as sweet pepper, sweet potato, tomato, cabbage, and eggs being of particular note. Statin also reports that point-to-point inflation for the period December 2023 to December 2024 was 5%. And finally, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang says work is now underway to repair the cables that connect cameras under the Jamaica Eye program. Speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Dr. Chang explained that maintenance of the system had been a challenge in recent times, causing some of the cameras to be out of service.
It's not the cameras that were the problem, it's the cabling that's the problem. The cabling that connects the cameras across the island. Right? It connect to the station where we're monitoring and then connect back to our CAD center. And there was just nobody with the equipment even when we gave the contracts out, which we procured quickly, but they didn't have the capacity to respond in the kind of time we wanted.
As a result, a new local company has been engaged to provide the spare parts and manpower needed to carry out the maintenance work and allow the system to operate at the required 24 to 48-hour surveillance response. Following negotiation with the company, the security minister says most of the cameras have been restored.
They have started the process of repairing whatever cables were damaged, and that's proceeding smoothly. And besides, they said they have undertaken to have the required equipment where they are short in due course, so that we can look forward to further maintenance. So this year we're going to expand. According to Minister Chang, 2,000 cameras are being targeted for purchase and over 3,000 spots have been identified for placement. The island-wide Jamaica Eye network of cameras is a critical tool in the country's crime-fighting arsenal. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for staying with us. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport made significant strides last year. Up next, we showcase their key achievements for 2024.
This government, and indeed the whole House, has demonstrated its commitment to preventing and punishing acts of domestic violence through the passage of these important amendments. The grant will be accessible through the Sport Development Foundation following successful submission of a proposal. Today I'm announcing that we will be establishing another main center in the parish of St. Catherine to treat with the needs of our teenage mothers.
Minister Olivia Babsy Grange, veteran minister, would like all Jamaica to know Madam Speaker, and she asked me specifically to do so, that the necessary funding of $120 million has been included in the budget to complete the rehabilitation of Jam World and Fort Rocky as fully functional 24/7 entertainment zones.
I feel excited as this is a significant moment in the development of the sport program here at Crystal House and by extension, sport development in Jamaica at the grassroots level. I'm thanking you for joining us today for the signing of a memorandum of understanding for bilateral cooperation in the field of sport between the government of Jamaica and the government of the People's Republic of France. In this phase one of the insurance, we will cover free of cost to you death benefit up to $500,000 under group life and personal accident.
What do you think causes bullying? Unsure? Well, our next feature will explore some of the possible reasons behind this harmful behavior.
Bullying can affect anyone, but some individuals may be more vulnerable to becoming victims. Its long-term effects can be devastating, leaving emotional scars that impact mental and physical health.
All right, so ladies,
In this feature, Winsome Heron-Ferron, a senior lecturer and a member of the Behavioral Sciences Department at Michael University College, offers an in-depth perspective on bullying, its causes, signs, and consequences. Before we get started, here's a clear working definition to consider. Bullying is a psychological mechanism involving power imbalance and aggression where individuals or groups target others to assert control or cause harm in social contexts.
I must just emphasize that bullying has to do with power and aggression. The fact that it is social, it means that every sphere of our interaction with others, our primary socialization at home. Can we start it there? So it begins in our interaction with those in our immediate spaces, our families, how we are treated by parents, by siblings. So a person may develop a sense of being bullied or being a bully from their own interaction in those primary spaces. So, and it is also fostered and maintained through our interaction then at school. So when you go to school, there are others who might be like your parents, teachers, like your siblings, other classmates, who would then, perpetuate this kind of behavior. It is not limited to class. It has to do with your interaction. So parents who are of the upper class, they can be insensitive to their child's needs. And because they're insensitive to their child's needs, the child may develop a sense that, I am not really valued. It can happen in the lower class. A parent may not have the means, but they're also insensitive to the child's needs. And so that child will either seek to have that need satisfied in another way, or they will look to others to satisfy such a need. We can have bullying physically, in terms of hitting, biting, spitting, shoving, that kind of stuff. We can also have one of significant concern now, and that is cyberbullying. So this is where we send messages and we share images and we share information in the electronic space that is harmful, and it's targeted at a particular individual. In a school setting where we socially isolate others, we don't want to be their friends, they don't want to talk to them, they leave them out of things, that is also a form of bullying. So it's intentionally causing harm or hurt to someone else.
It's important to note that both bullies and victims display distinct behaviors. Bullies tend to be confident, assertive, and socially popular, often displaying leadership qualities.
They're also emotionally advanced because they understand their own emotions. They do. And so when it comes to the perpetrator, they are usually confident. They are usually the kinds of people who believe that, I can do this, and they're also very aggressive. On the part of the victim, however, we can see where the victims tend to be less vocal. They tend to be more reserved. They tend to also display esteem challenges. So their sense of self, in terms of valuing self, they may have lower self-esteem than others. They may also be behave in a way that says that they're not assertive. So they are easily led.
But here's the debilitating phenomenon. The effects of bullying can last long beyond school years. For perpetrators, untreated aggression can lead to difficulties in adulthood, especially in the workplace. Similarly, victims may carry emotional scars into their professional lives.
On the part of the perpetrator, that if they are not treated, if they don't get the help with it, they are going to become adults who are aggressive and power-seeking. And some of them, they may not get jobs. Or if they get jobs, they're not going to last very long in it, because they're going to carry that same drive for power and that aggressive, running over everybody attitude into the workplace. On the part of the victims, again, it is detrimental, because the long-term effect of it is you become so docile and so reserved that you don't use your initiative. You don't have a sense of, I can do this in the workplace. And every workplace needs persons who are able to use their initiative and to grow the business. So if you're coming into the space as a victim and you carry that persona with you, then again, you're not going to have a job for long. Or if you have a job, you're not going to be effective in your role.
In addition, some victims may later become perpetrators, using aggression to regain a sense of power. These individuals are known as bully victims.
They were the victims of bullying. And what do? They turn around and they bully others. So out of their own sense of failure as an individual, so to speak, they then try to assert this kind of power and aggression towards others. And then we now have this group of bully victims.
How do we break the cycle?
We would want for them to become assertive, to stand up and say, no, I have a right. No, I am not going to do this. So we want them to become more assertive. We do not want them to become aggressive.
Here's the truth. Bullying is a complex issue shaped by personal and societal factors. If you've been bullied, it doesn't define you. Seek support from trusted individuals or professionals to heal. As we conclude this chapter, it's important to emphasize that fostering assertiveness and promoting healthy interactions can help schools and families reduce bullying and its long-term effects.
Tourism is the backbone of the Jamaican economy, and it is our responsibility to ensure its long-term economic viability and sustainability.
As the Ministry of Agriculture continues to execute its plan for food security, our upcoming feature will take you inside the daily lives of our fishermen. Please take a look.
My name is Cardell Anthony Style. I'm the operating manager here at the Boardwalk Farm here in Lightspen, Old Harbour. On a production day or a harvesting day is like, I wake up like probably 4:35 in the morning. Obviously, we'll get the call from overnight saying that we have a pan ready for selling. So they will respond to us and then we will know based on the amount of persons coming.
Before I come, I would normally use my phone as a mean of advertisement. So I would use my status to advertise. So I would know exactly, say, I'm supposed to travel with a 200 or 250 today because it depends on the demand. So that's where I was started. Once I come here, I would contact Grace first to tell her say I would need 200, and then I would come and then they would draw it from the pan and they would wait, and then I would put it in my cart and then I would leave and take it to the destination.
So the selling take place like probably roughly 8 o'clock. We finish our stuff like that. We prepare the feeding again for the entire day. Currently we're on the biomar. The biomar feed, it's a floating feed. But when we use the floating feed now, it's like we actually see the amount that the fish is consumed and where exactly the feeding reaches in the water and everything. With the biomar, Once you throw it, if for instance the fishes are not feeding, you will find that all of it just float to the side. So you will have an idea the next day now as to say, all right, this pond is not feeding as well as they ought to, so probably you want to cut back a little bit. Or if you have a pond that is consuming that much, you find out that either you want to improve on the feeding capacity or, you know, the amount is okay.
Our farm is just tilapia. We just do tilapia farming. We started out with just 2 ponds because it was a test run, had a lot of challenges, a whole heap of setbacks, but so far it has improved significantly. So from then to now we are doing way better from then. It is a lucrative business. There are not enough persons. The demand is so much. So based on what the challenges they had, we figured out how we could circumvent those, work again around them, mitigate all of those. We saw where we could have done the same fish they were doing, but get better results. We have always considered farming to be a great option, something to explore. The opportunity came up to purchase this farm. We didn't hesitate. And then the fact that it had, all of these ponds were existing, and then we had the equipment to renovate them, so it kind of cut some of the costs. So we didn't hesitate, and that's really how this started. The National Fisheries Authority was of great assistance and guidance to us in that we knew nothing about fish farming. So you had their resource officers who would come by. Like we have a 1 acre pond, they were really integral in telling us, okay, this is your stock density, which is how much to stock per acre, half acre. And then they would come and check, your water quality is not so good, so maybe you need to do this or that. So they have been of great help to us. And initially, our fries were gotten from them. So, they still continue to guide and help us throughout the process. There's a misconception that they tasted like dirt. So persons have now come to realize that that's not necessarily so. They actually taste fabulous. So it's not a set number per day, but say an average size, a 1 acre pond, if you harvest, ideally for me, I would like to get a minimum 4,000 pounds. We have come close to that. So it's based on what you stock, the size of your pond, what you stock and what you recover. Predominantly, they're from all over. I've had one person come from as far as Westmoreland.
I supply the Bagwak region, West Prospect, a small community named O'Malley, Lucky Valley. So I would do that like 3 times per week. They're very good size. Their average size is like 3/4 pound up to a pound. And they're very fleshy and meaty, so they really love them and they're always requesting it, so it's really high in demand. It's an opportunity to start something for yourself. So sometimes if you're not working, you can create something for yourself. Most people may not have a transport where they can transport it, but sometimes you can maybe start with a bicycle or whatever way to start something, to create something for yourself. Make a betterment of yourself and bring the goods to the people because it's high in demand and that's what they want.
I would encourage others, if they had the land space, the infrastructure to do so, with proper guidance though. So get in contact with the National Fisheries Authority. Check with other farmers who have been in the business. A lot of them are willing to guide you along the way. So with that guidance, and if you do things correctly, then it is a success. Can be very, very successful.
Fishing means a whole lot to me. Whatever you want, you just have to go for it because you cannot learn to drive in a parked vehicle.
We've reached the end of our program. Get a recap of everything you saw here and more on our website, jis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.